And now we continue our series on the history of cinema. Each episode in this series focuses on a different cinematic subgenre. And this week we take a look at the fun, drama and romance of young people in the teen film.
And get down on her knees. Oh, that's how it begins.
The Andy Hardy series of films began in the 1930s and are one of the earliest and most successful teen film franchises. Less well remembered, however, from the same time are the Ebenezer O'Malley series of films. More edgy than the all-American niceness of Andy Hardy, Ebenezer O'Malley was a cheeky ne'er-do-well growing up in the Depression. In some ways a precursor to later teen dramas like Degrassi Junior High, it bravely tackled teen issues of the 30s, such as the importance of teen pregnancy, the dangers of ignoring the health benefits of smoking a pipe, dealing with the stigma of being seen in public without a hat, and the most controversial issue of all, which was sensitively explored in the 1933 production, Ebenezer O'Malley Leaves the Mine. Ebenezer, you're too young.
Dad, I'm 14!
Well, you'll just have to trust me when I say that 14 is just too young to stop working in the mines. Why, you've only been working there 5 years.
I don't care for the mines. I say phooey to the mines.
Ebenezer, you leave me no choice but to have a father-son chat with you. As the Second World War raged in the 1940s, the day-to-day concerns of teenagers shifted away from things like first love and gaining independence toward issues surrounding getting their heads blown off on the battlefield. But there were still some traditional teen issues explored in films like the Japanese production The Kamikaze Kid, about a young lonely guy who befriends a wise old man who teaches him the ways of the kamikaze. It climaxes in a rousing kamikaze tournament where the Kamikaze Kid defeats the local gang of kamikaze bullies, and his friends and family triumphantly lift him onto their shoulders and present his charred remains with the tournament trophy. They get him in a body bag, yeah! From this time there was also the classic teen rebel film, Rebel with a Wars.
From now on, I'm not going to kill the enemies. I'm going to do as I'm told. I won't be devious.
Young lady, as long as you are living in this stalag, you will rebel. You must try to get away.
You can't make me.
You must. I command you to yearn to be free.
Never!
From post-war Europe, there was also the retelling of the Romeo and Juliet story in Fritz and Inga, which told the story of a young girl who falls in love with a boy from the wrong side of the Potsdam Agreement. As the babies of the baby boom boomed and became teenagers in the 50s, so did the rise of the teen movie. Initially, the fear and mistrust of teens held by the older generation clashed awkwardly with the burgeoning teen culture. Teenagers were simultaneously celebrated and demonised, memorably demonstrated in the somewhat confusing "I was a teenager." It didn't take long for Hollywood to recognise that the teen audience was vast in number and low in standards. Teens were happy to pay to see any old piece of cheap crap. And so teen movies exploded into a rich variety of subgenres, beginning with the teen delinquent film. Notable examples of this included the classic The Wild One, starring Marlon Brando, which was followed by the sequels Wild One 2, Wilder Still, The Wild One in the Congo, Any Which Way But Wild, the Telly movie A Very Wild Christmas, and the Sergio Leone directed spaghetti western The Good, the Bad and the Wild. What are you rebelling against, senor?
What do you got?
I have this gun. Ha ha! And now I have your motorcycle. Ha 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 ha! By the 1960s, the delinquent teen film was a worldwide phenomenon, as seen in the British period drama Menace to High Society, the Australian film Ginger Meggs Learns About the Age of Consent, and the controversial Canadian film Gangs of Nova Scotia.
I don't like the way you're looking at my salmon.
Oh yeah? Well, maybe that's because I don't like your salmon.
You gonna let him talk to you like that, Bill?
Okay, pal, you go get your moose.
You think your moose can outrun mine?
I'll see you on the moose drag strip in 1 hour. Come on, baby, let's go get some flapjacks.
Stay tuned for part 2 in Lime Champions' look at the history of the teen film.